Now we've created these features, I'd like to have the camera trap symbology changed. And so I'd like these camera traps to be defined by their battery life. So let's create some fields for the camera traps. Right-click the camera traps, go to Design, and click on Fields. We want some extra fields to be added, so let's add a field for name, a field for the date, a field for the battery life, and a field for any issues that a field collector might have with the camera trap at the time. We will call the first field nom with an alias of name. The second field will be called dat with an alias of date. The third field will be called bat with an alias of battery life. And the fourth field will be called IPC with an alias of issue with picture. So, in the name, we will change the data type to a text. Make it a length of 30 characters. You never know, some people have very long names. We will change the date to the data type for date and give it a default date value just by double clicking there. We will change the battery life and keep it as a long data type. This is for integers. And we can change the number format. Category, percentage. Here we can change some further options. I don't want it to have any decimal places, so I'll click that. And issues with picture, that should be a text as well. Because somebody will be describing an issue, we'll give them a few extra characters. By a few, I mean I'll give them 1,000 characters to work with. Little essay if they need to. And so let's save the fields we've just added. We can click off the fields table and right-click the camera trap in the contents pane again and go to the attributes table. Let's add a few attributes. Let's add 0 for 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. So I've given a few of these data points these values. We can click off the attribute table now because they have saved. Now if I go to the camera trap and edit its symbology, I can change it from a single symbol. Like last time we chose unique symbols, this time I'll choose graduated colors. So for the field, quite rightly, it'll be battery life. For the color scheme, that's the default color scheme, but let's edit the color scheme to make it something more appropriate. Now the first thing I'm going to do is click on this More option up here, and I want to show the values that are out of range. So notice before I clicked that, it only showed the values with values within them, these down here. But if I allow the values out of range, it shows all values. The upper value has a label of less than or equal to 0%, and it goes down 25, 50, 75, and 100. Remember, those are the values we put in on the attributes table. So let's change the symbology for each of these. For 0%, let's give it a black symbol. Go back. For 25%, let's give it the same symbol, but let's make it a yellow color. In fact, actually a red color. Apply that and go back. For the third symbol, let's go onto the gallery, select the circle that we have selected before, go onto the properties and make it for 25% an orange symbol. Apply, go back, go for the 75%, gallery, circle, properties, and make it yellow. Go back once more, onto the 100%, and so on 100%, we want it to be a green symbol. to signify that it's on full health. This 100% symbol will actually be there for anywhere between 75 or 75 and greater. So it could be 88% battery and it would still show up as a green symbol. But you can add more fields if you wish. So now we've done that, we can click Exit to Symbology. Bring this contents page up, go onto the camera traps and go back onto its attributes table. We can actually get rid of all of those points we added before. And click off the attributes table. Now none of the points have got any values at all because they haven't been updated yet. Now let's share this project as another web map as we did in the last demonstration. We want to name it Myco CT web map. Summary, let's say test, and tags demo. Select a configuration. We want it to be editable and we want it to be in the location of Africa folder. Share it with my organization, but just my organization. Analyze the map. Check if there are any errors. There is one error. Surface layer has a different projection than the map's projection, so expand the group. Let's go into the options and select the layer in the contents page. So it seems that this world imagery and world boundaries for places have a different coordinate system to our map. First of all, let's check the coordinate system for our map by right-clicking it and going to Properties. Go to Coordinate Systems and notice the current system is WGS 1972 UTM Zone 35S. Now, we need to change this to the WGS 1984 Web Mercator Auxiliary Sphere. This is the coordinate system that's best used for online services. It translates very well into ArcMap. Any other coordinate system, and it may not translate as well. In fact, it doesn't allow you to open it unless it's in that coordinate system for a web map. So there we go. We've changed that, and now if we analyze again, it should have fixed the problem. Because this map corresponds with the coordinate system for world imagery and world boundaries. For instance, if I right click on world imagery and go to its properties, I can go to its metadata, or should I say I can go to its source, go onto the spatial reference, and as you can see, it's got the same coordinate system as our map now does. So let's share this map. There are unsaved edits in the layer, so I don't want to continue before I share. I must save my edits before I share in my map, otherwise they will not be saved. So go on to Edit, click Save, and then you can save the edits before you click on Share. And now it's sharing. Once the map has been shared, we can exit this map because we don't need to share it. All we're interested in is the web map. Although under normal circumstances, I recommend you save projects so that they're backed up. In the contents of the online cloud for your organization, select the folder that you saved the web map to. In this case, I saved it to the Africa folder. If I open up so the web map hasn't appeared in the Africa folder yet, but if I refresh the page, then here it is, the Myco CT web map that we just created. So, I'd like to show you this in ArcGIS Collector. If I go on to the feature layer and go on to the settings as we did before, I need to enable sync to make it accessible offline. This is just good practice really. Enable sync, but there are a few other things I want to change about this, because in the web map for these camera traps, the only things I want to be editable are the camera traps themselves, but I don't want people to add new camera traps And so I'll change this setting so that what kind of editing is allowed. And from add and update features, I will change it to update features. What features can editors see? They can see all features. What features can editors edit? They can edit all features. What access do anonymous editors have? The same as single signed-in editors. That's true. So it means that anyone can update features so long as they're signed in. Now, we've enabled sync, so let's save. Now we've enabled sync for the feature layer that is stored within the web map, we can go to the content page. And I'll select the web map itself and go to the overview page for it. I'll go on to the settings. We can select the offline here, enable offline mode, manage the areas, and select an extent for our offline capabilities. Click this plus sign to draw a map area. We can wait for the symbology to load in so we can know exactly where we need to put the map area. There we go, it's loaded in. And I will draw an extent around this area. Let's keep the level of detail the same as default and save. Now we can click X on here and save the offline edits that we've just made. Items successfully updated. Excellent. Now let's go back to the overview for MyCoCT web map and open it in the map viewer. Yes, open the map. In the content of this map in the map viewer, we want to change a few things. So, Myco river and fish. Let's make the fish layer uneditable as we did in the first demonstration. Now, I'm going to keep the Myco river feature layer editable. I'm not going to disable editing. This is just to show to you what I mean, and this is to show to you what disable editing does when we open it up in Arc Collector, how it affects our map. So, we'll save the map. And now, let's go back to the content. And let's view it on our phones. When you open your phone, click on the Collector app. You'll have to refresh the page to find any new maps that you've added to Collector. Notice the Myco web map is there. If it doesn't appear, go onto the Myco web map settings page, scroll down to the bottom, and check to see whether you've selected the option Use in Collector app. Now, let's download a web map. In fact, in demonstration 1, I showed you how to download a template for this map to be used offline. I'm not going to do that for this demonstration, but you can equally do that just as easily by clicking the download option there. So, to download the new web map, let's click on the map. Notice it opens into a world map. In fact, I will download the base map just to show you the difference. So we've opened up in a world map, and I'll click download here, download a new base map. Wait for the shapefile to show so we can change the extent slightly, zoom out slightly, there we go. Choose the map detail, counties, that's absolutely fine. So let's download this map. While this map is downloading, let's open up the web map in Map Viewer. Open in Map Viewer. Okay, so let's go back onto the phone. The map's downloaded. Open up the map. Make MyCoCT web map. And so, if we select a point, we can click on the arrow next to it and edit the feature. I could enter in a name, I could use the date, use current for instance, and I can enter in a battery life. Let's put in 50% battery life. Notice the symbology updates on this map viewer here. It is red because we've defined 50% battery life equal to or lower than 50% battery life to be orange. In fact, that isn't red, that's orange. My bad. Let's update the feature below it. Edit feature, and let's make this one 23%. Click tick. Oh, that was the name I edited. In the battery life, let's give it 23%. It's hard to tell the difference because I've chosen the symbology rather poorly, but the above symbol is orange and the one below it is red to correspond with the battery life. Let's edit this 48 symbol here. Battery life, let's give it 55 battery life. Click the plus. As you can see, it's yellow. And let's do a last one. Edit feature and give it 88 battery life. Notice it's green. Now let's also click a feature next to the green feature and edit it so it has a battery life of 0. So it has no battery. Now that's black. For any camera trap that does not have a battery life inputted into it, it comes up as a small grey point. That's because we allowed other points to be shown on the map. Excellent. So, if I go onto the layers here, you'll notice that I can deselect these layers if I want to, and just show the camera traps. These are some nifty options. Now remember when I said that we would be able to edit the line features of the river? Because I have made it in the settings of the layer file to only be able to update features. We can't add features, we can't remove features, we can only update features. It hasn't given me an option to add any new features. It's gotten rid of that option altogether. I can only select features and update them. For instance, if I select this river here, I can click on it and go on to edit feature. I could edit any of its points here. I can go onto the map and I can actually edit its points by moving them about like this. I can click the done sign and see I've actually edited the line here. But I can't click on the fishnet. Or I can click on the fishnet, but I can't edit it. If you notice, there's no option to edit because I disabled the editing on the web map. Once we've finished updating all the features we want in this map on Arc Collector, we can press back. And we can sync the points we've collected to the online viewer. So, let's wait for these to sync. The layer on Collector, the map on Collector has now synced all of the features we updated with the online web map. So, as you can see, when I zoomed in, it refreshed the layers, and the features that we just added have been updated on the desktop web map that can be accessed online. So let's save that. Saving map to my content. Always just save whenever you... Oh, notice also the river here that we edited has been jangled about, just as we did in the Collector app. Polygons can also be edited in the Arc Collector map, if need be. For instance, if you've gone to survey an area, survey a swamp for instance, and the extent actually goes farther than what the polygon shows in the Arc Collector map, you might want to change the extent real time by using your location as the points features to extend the extent by where you're standing. If you have a high accuracy GPS connected to your phone, then this can be quite accurate. Can be a quite accurate means of collecting land cover information from ground truthing. Well, let's go to content. And let's open up this map in the Arc Pro software. So let's click on MicroCT Web Map. And just as we did in demonstration 1, let's open in ArcGIS Desktop, open in ArcGIS Pro, and it downloads a small file that I can click. It opens the project up, the web map that is, in ArcGIS Pro. I can add the map by dragging it onto or by right-clicking and pressing open, and do any editing I want, updating it simultaneously in both this online service, which is now connected to the Arc Pro software, and the online service on here in the map view.